Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm meadsyreplays. Welcome back to the channel. And I done it. I had to do it. I had no choice. Someone, they held me at gunpoint and I just had to do it. So I bought a smasher on my free-to-play account. Well, I didn't buy it. I used gold. Didn't spend any money on the game at all. But I had to get the smasher. It was one of my only opportunities to be able to guarantee a smasher. One of my favorite tanks in the game, one of my most favorite fun tanks in the game to play. But it did cost me. I had to sell 2 tier 10 tanks. Those of you that have been around and watched my free-to-play account know that over Christmas I won 2 tier 10 tanks. I got 2 tier 10 tanks in crates. I got very, very lucky. I got the Super Conqueror and I got the WZ121B. But I've sacrificed them. I still have the Chieftain Mark 6. I sacrificed them tanks. I sold them tanks to be able to get a smasher. Because at the end of the day, I can still get them tanks back. I can still get the tanks back if I really wanted to. If I really wanted to sell other tanks to be able to get them tanks back. But I had to do it. It's a smasher. And in fact, I was right in what I said, where it wasn't even going to price drop. The price drop, it wasn't even going to happen. People were going to buy the smasher even at the price. Now, in fact, it was cheaper than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be for around 15,000 gold. But in fact, it was sold for 13,000 gold. So, everybody, that didn't want to, that wanted the smasher, didn't even wait. And I agree, 13,000 gold for a smasher, I think's an absolute bargain. Yes, it is a tier 7, but I still think one of the most OP tanks in the game, one of the tanks that everybody wants, was just for 13,000 gold. So it was a bit of a steal, to be fair. Now, again, I have sold 2 tier 10 tanks to be able to get the smasher, but you play it right, you can still get your same average damage in your smasher than you would those tier 10s anyway. So we're going to have a game. Now, we have just played just one battle in the smasher on my free-to-play account. But let's just look at the stats and go through why this tank is so insane. Now, the armor, it doesn't have much armor, 150 on your turret and 120 on your hull. So the armor's not like special. However, you can get the troll bounce on your turret. You're not going to bounce anything on your hull. So the DPM 2480, which is actually incredible for the tank. It is fantastic DPM. That is a reload of 15.48 seconds. Your penetration on your AP, of course, is just the 140, nothing special at all. But where this tank really does shine is the heat pen at 250. Now, I'm not even running calibrated shells, which I should, because that then brings your heat pen to 283, which is, for a tier 7, it's a bit insane. And of course, 92 on your HE. So that's just the basic stats. So as you can see, let's go over and where are we? So we've got that and we've got that. So the tank's latest, you can just see one battle played. So let's just get into game and talk about, this game just showcases why I love this tank so much. It is my first game, so of course I'm up against tier 6s. Now, when this tank is up against tier 6s, you can have a whale of a time. Honestly, you'll be able to HE a lot of tanks, especially from the side, the rear, even some frontally. Of course, when you do come up against tier 8s, it does get a little bit more difficult. However, because of your heat pen, you can still penetrate almost anything frontally, like anything. Doesn't matter what comes in front of you, a Tiger, a VK, a 100, whatever tank comes in front of you, you switch to the heat, you will be able to penetrate them. Now, unfortunately, people with things like a KV2 smasher, everyone just wants to get that HE out. They want to get the HE just because of the insane amount of damage it does. Now, you've got to just you know, back off that a little bit with the Smasher, especially when you are top tier. Now, I do get unlucky with this SU-152 because I know I can penetrate his lower plate with HE. Unfortunately, I didn't wait and I only do 400 damage, but that was a splash damage, you know, and that's what I love about this HE with these big guns. A bit of splash damage, and that was still over 400 damage. Now, of course, when you do come up against tanks like this, the KV-3, you're not going to be able to penetrate him with AP. You're going to struggle, so you will have to switch to the heat. So you're doing less damage, but at least you're penetrating. And you can see we've still done a decent amount of damage. So that's now 2 tanks down, very, very easy. Now, we have only done 900 damage, and of course, there is a Tiger P there, which I do really want to get behind. You can see I've already got the HE locked and loaded, and I want to get behind this guy as quickly as possible. But unfortunately, he does turn. However, I do still manage to do 966 damage. So that's now 2k damage, and there is still plenty of tanks left alive. I'm still full hit points, so there is still a lot of damage left to do. So I do quickly steal the kill there from the SU-152. I mean, it's not a rule to leave him the kill, so I quickly stole that kill to push my damage just over the 2000 mark. And there is still 4 tanks left alive. However, we still need to be a little bit careful because we could still lose this game. Now, I was hoping to clear that guy. Unfortunately, I don't. But that's still now 2,770 damage. So, you know, I've still done a decent amount of job. Go for the HE there. To be fair, I don't know why I went for HE there. I knew I was only going to do splash damage. But again, still a decent amount of splash damage into that Pharaoh there. But I should have used AP. I would have been able to penetrate him with AP. And I should have done that. And again, go for the splash. Unfortunately, I do leave him on 100, just over 100 damage, or 100 hit points. But, you know, the damage is still racking up. And again, that is what I love about the tank. You don't need to just aim and aim and aim, get your AP in, get your heat in. If you don't want to sort of expose yourself for a long period of time, then just splash him. Now, this is what, again, I love about the tank. There is a nice 88 there. Now, as soon as he starts turning his side, I don't know why he does it. Like, okay, thank you very much. That's 1,000 damage in one shot. And that literally pushes my damage up to 4,500 damage, which, you know, is still a decent job for a tier 7 tank. And you can do that regularly. Like, it's not a one-off where you do that with this tank. You can literally do that regularly. So now we're just waiting. We do manage to kill the Chaffee, and you know what, I'm very happy. Yes, I would have liked to have keep my tier 10 tanks on my free-to-play account, but I'm gonna have just as much fun playing the Smasher than I would. It's not all about doing damage. It's not all about a sort of win rate as such. It's all about having fun. And when you are a free-to-play player, basically like this is, when you can do 4,500 damage in a Smasher, a tank that you would never have imagined to own on your free-to-play account, I had to take the opportunity and sell some tanks. So I think it was a good deal. I still have a tier 10. I still have the Chieftain. I still have a couple of other premium tanks as well. Of course, you got the Type 70 there, Type 57. Sorry, I've got still the 50 TP as well. So I'm still happy with the tanks that I have. Would you have done the same thing? Would you have sold 2 tier 10 tanks to be able to get a tier 7? Let me know in the comments below. But for now, hope you enjoyed today's video. I'm meadsy69, and I'll catch you all soon. Bye bye.